Hi, Hannah Dingwall here. My first video for the TAP project is What Makes a Hero by Matthew Winkler. Okay. What did Harry Potter, Katniss So, this is a TED Talk, so I would probably set it up in a setting where it's someone lecturing. So, I'd probably either be, I would probably be closer to student. I don't know if it would be a student necessarily, but it could be this person coming to go see a TED Talk. Um, I'd have to do a lot of research about what makes a hero, being the subject of like heroes, story tales, the hero's journey, which is the main topic of this um, video. That I would have like there's a big diagram. That is what this video is. It's a bunch of different diagrams and different showings and drawings. So it's not necessarily someone speaking. So I'd also have to probably set up with a team, maybe another interpreter doing what they're saying and what another person is seeing on what's happening on the screen. Because this is an animated TED Talk. So that would include someone having to describe what's happening if the deaf participant wanted to look at the animation. I'd have to know special phrases from like quote phrases like not in Kansas anymore from Wizard of Oz. So I have to know how to interpret that so the deaf community would understand it. Um, I would have to. Sorry, I would probably have to probably focus on who exactly is the target language acquire like for it would be a younger person or an older person because a younger person would understand all the references made before Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, Frodo. I mean, an older person would understand what Frodo was, but not all older people understand who Katniss Everdeen is or who Harry Potter is. I mean, most people know who Harry Potter is, so those are iconic names, but we still have to learn and understand them and make sure that we can understand what they're um, doing. Sorry, my video is getting a little laggy. My YouTube video. Um, Also, probably would have to think about how to work with my team as to how we would want to get the feed in because these are chunked, but there's not a lot of good pauses in between them. So we'd have to like know when to switching that happen. I mean, this is so short, so one person could do it all by themselves. Obviously, it's only 4 minutes. But if it was a longer extended lecture, like an hour or 2 hours, then I would have to find places to pause and learn like when. Yeah. Like he talks a lot about Katniss Everdeen. So if someone has never read the Hunger Games books, we'd have to probably give them maybe a little more information as to what exactly her story is, and it's talking about the differences between different heroes, right? So he's specifically talking about Katniss and how she's different compared to how other ones are different. So you actually have to categorize them with your signing if it is ASL as your target language. I have to go way back into learn specific signs like hero. I have no idea what the sign for hero is. Um, so those are all definitely things you have to understand. Um, I think just the main, really, it's important to say again is that you have to understand who it is that you are signing for. I mean, interpreting for. So if it's a younger person, they're gonna know all this background. If assuming they're gonna know all this background information on who Harry Potter is, who Katniss Everdeen is, who Frodo is, like all those people who he's mentioning in the video that you need to understand, like someone needs to maybe know what that is. Like, so that's just one of the things, knowing your client and knowing who you're signing for. Also, the environment. So I said this is a TED Talk, so it's most likely a lecture. That could be, in a formal setting, and in just a small conference setting, could be someone who's coming to talk in a class, or someone just talking in the general community, or actually being at a TED Talk, which would be awesome. But okay, so that one video is done. And I'm going to pause, but it's still going to be recording, so please don't mind my absence. Okay. So my next video, which is the ASL video, and it is about deaf identity, so big D or little d, and it is now it is one woman signing, and she's talking about like deaf community, what sign language is, and how you grew up, if oral, deaf, institute, different. So she's talking a lot about deaf culture. So this subject could be in a formal lecture, like a TED Talk, or it could be in a classroom. Like I learned all about this in my deaf culture class. So these are all like knowing sign language. We already have that background of knowing what like what these signs are, like deaf, little d, big D, culture. Like we have all that back information, but to go in more depth as to how to compare them, to assign them into different groups, and then talking about the differences and why there's such a conflict or problem or reasoning for this topic. And she's talking a lot about the divide between D and little b, big D and little d. That's what she's talking about, the separations and boundaries between the two cultures and two groups. So I think you have to probably go really back and really focus on your signing ability. And if you're talking, even if you're voice talk, and if you're interpreting this as voicing, you're gonna have to, really pay attention to what she's signing, because I know that I'm really awful with voicing. So now it's the second one interpreting. I mean, not interpreting, signing. So you definitely have to know how to role shift, and definitely know, like, if your client wants you just to stay in the same position and say, oh, this is a different person talking, or do they want you actually to role shift? Because I know in deafblind there actually is a difference. Also, you have to know what your surroundings are. So again, know if you're in a classroom, know if you're at a TED Talk, know you're just at a basic open lecture, because those things do matter. In the sense that you need to know if you're talking to, because if it's an open lecture, like public lecture, come and speak lecture, you could be seeing more deaf people than just one person. You could be interpreting for a group of people instead of one client, which is a big deal. Also, it seems more like an informal setting. I mean, it is like they are signing not completely formal, but enough to be it's like we're just clean, clear, and concise. So I think they're trying to not just be casual, but it's in between that. It's in between those registers of formal, informal, casual. It's definitely in between all those three. So you definitely also, if you're voice interpreting, you have to make that voice adjustment too, because you can't just all be completely formal, but you should be clear and concise when you voice interpret. Sorry, my knee is hurting. So again, basically is to just really try to understand who you're signing for. But also is that you understand what it is that they're trying to say about the deaf community, big D and little d identities, because you don't want to come off as being one or the other. Like I know that all of my friends and all the people who I know are big D people. So I might be more related and understanding of big D people than I am little d people. But I don't want to come across that this is the right way, the big D one. And the little d ones are whatever. Like I really have to be very neutral in this subject, especially being a part of the deaf community as an interpreter, but also as a hearing person. I need to not put judgment on anything that they're saying at all, because it can be a really touchy subject with some people. She talks about like the phrase Oreo, and not a lot of people know what Oreo is, especially people who don't grow up in a setting where it's very diverse. It's like some people maybe grow up in an all black community or an all white community or Hispanic community, whatever, but that doesn't mean they know all the terms. Like there's new terms growing every day, but we need to like be sensitive to the subject. I mean, interpret what the person is saying no matter what. I mean, if they said it, you should interpret it. But if they're saying stuff like Oreo or stuff like that in a racist way, you're not going to say cookie. You're going to say someone who is ethnicity black who represents a white person or something like that, but you're going to do it in a way that's not racist, I would assume, unless they're trying to come off as. It just depends on how exactly the person says it, and that's how you interpreted it. But that term Oreo, you need to explain what that is because not everyone knows it. I mean, I think most of the world knows it, but someone, again, not from a diverse world wouldn't know. I don't know why I'm citing to you. So now it is a different person. It's a third woman. Again, you have to know if your clients want you to role shift or they want you to say, oh, different person, like interpreting. Or you could maybe even do an interpreter switch or not. I mean, this is only 5 minutes. So not everything that's going to happen is like, not, I mean, this is not everything that's going to happen. This is only 5 minutes. So you only need one interpreter technically because it is 5 minutes of interpreting. I think a lot of interpreters can go longer than 5 minutes. So, I mean, that's another team choice that you can make. You can see the different signing styles between the three, and they're all just still staying in the same register, very clear, very upfront, hands-on, using their space, but they're doing it in a way that's not sloppy signing. So, so yeah, just definitely just to stay focused on the subject of big D, little d identity, and to relate what they're saying, but also to not put any not stigma, anything really into the yeah, your own stereotypes and your own opinions into the message because it's a really sensitive message to a lot of people. And that is the end of my video. So I'm done. I hope I did well. Just again with both of them, it's just to understand what it is you're translating, because the message is what it's meaning, but sorry, you're going to really have to focus on who it is you're translating for, because I think in both of these videos, the client is like the biggest like whole of it, because whether the age group, where they're from, all that impacts both of these videos. So yeah, thank you.